Hi, welcome to Jimmy's Whatever. In this episode, we'll be replacing brake pads for VW Golf MK6. The rear brake started making squeaking noise recently, so I decided to replace the pads. These are the main tools I'll be using: some socket wrench sets and a car jack. I apologize for the flickering of the LED lamp throughout the video, but I get some better lamps. Personal hygiene is very important nowadays in this COVID-19 crisis, so gloves are a must. For the VW vehicles, you need to remove the bolt caps before loosening the stud bolts. Because of the triple square shape on the cap, some people use triple square wrench to loosen the caps. That some people includes myself. To remove the cap, you can simply use a small Allen wrench and easily take the cap out of the you can use the special tool provided when you bought the car. It is usually located under the trunk of... Okay, remember you need to clean the trunk to get to the tools. You can open the floor cover of your boot to locate the spare tire and the tools. You'll find two special tools. One is for taking the stud caps out. So much easier than using the Allen wrench, of course, as demonstrated. So much easier. It's so much easier relatively. Make sure you don't lose these caps. Using a 14mm socket and a flexible handle, you can easily loosen the bolts. Just apply gentle pressure to the handle and apply gentle or hard pressure to the handle, maybe. Yeah, so just basically do what you can do to loosen the bolts. One thing to remember is not to completely loosen all the bolts without lifting the car up. Once all the normal bolts are loosened, it's time to use the second tool that you found under the trunk. It is a theft-proof stud bolt with a strange looking shaped key. VW has about 20 different types of these anti-theft key sockets. Do not lose or damage the key socket. It can be difficult and costly to find a replacement. I don't recommend doing what I did just now. It can damage the key socket and the bolt. It's time to use the new car jack that I got. I only paid like $30 something for this hydraulic jack. A good deal. Always thoroughly read manuals before using any tools for your sake. Tighten the release nipple before applying pressure to the hydraulic pump. Set your car jack to the jack point and start lifting the car. Remember to put your gear to the parking. And since we are working on the rear brakes today, remember to release the side brake. Continue jacking up until there is about an inch of space under the tire. Now we are ready to loosen all the stud bolts out. Be careful when you're removing the bolts, since the tire may fall from its position. If the tire is jammed and would not come off the axle, gently budge the edge of the rim. Ever so gently budge or kick if necessary. While pulling the tire out, I've noticed there is a leak in the shock absorber. Maybe the next episode can be the shock absorber replacement. To get to the pads, you'll need to release two bolts from the calipers located in the back side. It's not recommended to hammer on the ratchet spanner as I do here, but I just took my chances. Once those two bolts are removed, you can gently pull the caliper to slide it off the disc. You can gently slide. Well, nothing ever comes out gently for this car. You can open up the brake fluid cap to make things easier too. This is the old brake pad that was making noise, which seems to be okay for another year or so. Pad on the inside usually wear out faster since that's where the piston is. To be honest, I was expecting to see more wear than this though. You can clean up the grease on the piston. It's time to use a special tool that was designed to press the piston in. Cars with ABS brakes has pistons that returns back only when turned. This tool allows the turning action to be applied to the piston when it is pushed down. Simply adjust the bracket to the caliper and turn the handle until the piston is fully recessed back. It's not as hard as it seems. Then prepare the new pads. As you can see, the new pads are a lot thicker than the used ones. That is why you need to push in the piston to make rooms for the pads. Place the pads on the caliper. Not the outer caliper where the piston is. And then slide in the caliper back to its original location. Place the two bolts back. You may need to use one more spanner to hold the nut on the inside. Once every bolts are placed in correct torque, put the wheels back on. Do the same for the other wheel. Once every job is done, put the brake fluid cap back on and start the engine. Get in the driver's seat and press down on the brake pedal several times until enough pressure is built up. Go out for a test drive. If everything works fine, then you'll know you have successfully replaced your brake pads. Thanks for watching. And if you've enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to my channel for more updates.